call the meeting to order. I don't need to have a motion to call the meeting to order, do I?
No, you can do it.
You can do
I
it.
don't think so.
Okay, I so call the meeting to order and conduct a roll call.
Ralph Taylor, here.
Charles Davis, present.
Sister Paula Rose here.
Brian Keeley here.
All right, item 1 is, the meeting is called to order. Second meeting, or item on the agenda is a vote to approve or disapprove the meeting minutes from the 9/9/24 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I so move that we accept the minutes from our last meeting.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and I have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Vote passes 4-0. We approve the meeting minutes from 9/9/24. Moving on to item number 3 is the public hearing for unmet needs of low and moderate income citizens and input for a 2024 annual action plan. At this point, I will look for a motion to open the public hearing.
I vote to open the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second to vote to open the public hearing. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye, no nays, vote passes 4-0. The meeting is, or the public hearing is now open.
And I'll just make a note that, as you can see, we do not have any members of the public here in the room with us today, and I have not received any comment on this item.
Thank you.
I would vote that we close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second motion.
All right, second motion, we'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vote to close the public hearing passes by 4-0. The public hearing is now closed, and I'm going to turn it over to you ladies.
Okay, well, let me give you guys an update of the program status. So, I am filling in for this role while it's vacant. So I myself am learning a little bit about what is going on with the different programs and trying to get myself up to date. So this probably won't be as complete of a rundown as Julie would have given you guys, but I've been doing my best to become well versed in this, and then hopefully when our next coordinator comes in, I'll be able to share my knowledge with them, because this is a really complicated set of projects and grants, so let's just get into it. So the public hearing that we just had was to get input for the annual action plan for the 2025 to 2026 year. That is something that staff will begin drafting here in the coming days and weeks. And we would plan to have a draft version of that by our April meeting, I believe, and have that out to the public and everything available for comment that way as well. Tonight, I'll give you guys an update of items related to the current annual action plan that we are under, which is the 2024 to 2025 program year. As I believe you guys are probably aware, the year cycle goes from July to June. And we're about halfway through that right now. So in January, we kind of hit the halfway point on that. The current annual action plan that we're under does have 5 different items for goals that were set. The first item is the home repair program. A goal was set to assist 11 different households through the home repair program. Right now we are at 9, and that does include applications that are in the pending process. So those applications, I do believe, will be able to meet the goal of 11. We have several other people that are interested in submitting that application, but we've put a pause on that for right now because we just don't have the capacity to take new applications in. So as I'm trying to learn these programs and become familiar, I'm working on focusing on the ones that have already submitted, already have contracts out and things, and trying to finalize those. And hopefully here in the next week or so, like I said, once we get somebody selected for that role, we can take in or start taking in newer applications again and meet that goal of 11, whereas we're at 9 now. The second item on the goals is public service agencies. So you have some packets in front of you for the public service agencies for the next year, but right now we are working with the existing service agencies that submitted last year. And I would say that that item does seem to be pretty well on track. So since I've been here, we have been able to get funding requests out to multiple of those different agencies, and things are on track with that. I do owe you guys a spreadsheet that shows where those grants are at, and I believe you'll need that as part of your scoring for the ones that you're receiving tonight. So I'll get that to you guys hopefully tomorrow, and then that will show us really where we're at as far as how much of that funding has been expended so far. The home ownership assistance program, there was a goal to achieve 5 households assisted with home ownership, and that's things like down payments, and it looks like as of right now, we do have 5 applications that are in processing. 3 of those, I believe, have already been completed, and 2 of those, they are currently searching for a home to purchase. So we are on track to meet that goal as well. Neighborhood stabilization. So this item, it has 2 different parts of how the funding has been used in the past from what I've seen. So it includes the demolition of properties that need to be taken down, as well as infrastructure improvements. So it looks like this line item has been focused primarily in the last year on sidewalk enhancements, and I don't see that there has been any demolition of blighted buildings. This item, I believe, does need to probably play a little bit of catch up, because as far as I'm seeing, I don't see that we've actually expended any of that money on sidewalk improvements yet, but I do believe that there have been conversations about how to do that and where to focus that money on. So I think that that is an item that in the next coming months probably needs a little bit more focus on, whereas some of the home repair and home ownership programs, they're almost at their goal. And then program administration is just for staff administration of the program, which that's probably actually a little bit behind as well because we haven't had somebody in that role, but that one should be able to meet its goal as well, I think, once we get somebody back in here. And my time is also being dedicated. I would say my time is, as the director, is about 50-50 dedicated to this role, and then dedicated to my actual duties. So this role is really a in-depth role, and it truly does need full attention of somebody's time, a 40-hour work week, at a minimum, to be able to coordinate all this, I would say. So hopefully we can get that role filled soon. And that is really my brief update for you all. I can take any questions for you. Anything that I can't answer, I'll get back with you on that tomorrow.
I was just wondering, and too bad there isn't somebody here to talk about the unmet needs, but having a little brother who just moved into the downtown area, there is no food service, no food in downtown Leavenworth at all. And the poor guy he can't drive, so we have to take him to a store outside of the there's no food, there's just none. Not even some place where you can go get, I suppose, the dollar store, but if you're walking, it's a long distance to find any place, or a filling station even, to find something if you live downtown.
Oh, like groceries?
Mm-hmm, totally, and it's like, so I would think that's one of the huge unmet needs of this city, is for anybody who lives in any of those apartment buildings that they're building, in any of the high rises or the low income housing places. I don't know where they get their food unless somebody has to take them, or if they can drive, but, so I would just put that somewhere, so I know that it's not a secret, but I know that it's very difficult, and he's finding it very hard, because he said, I want to walk to get my food, but there isn't any. So it's just something that it's really come to surface is to how do you help these older people who, I know they talked about it in the Northland sometime. Didn't we talk about it at one time?
I thought we had, but right now I can't recollect, but I thought we had at one time, we did talk about it.
And in the past, has there been a program through CDBG that assisted with something like that here in Leavenworth?
Not since I've been here, and it's been a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how long I've been here, but it's been a while, but
Not like the direct, not directly, no.
we've talked about it, I think, but,
We were always focused more on the transportation to and from those areas, which I think has been met by or at least been partially met by the program that the city has now.
with the guidance center,
Yeah.
Leavenworth Ride.
Yeah,
Yeah, then we're fine.
Microtransit or whatever it's called.
That's legitimately one of those items that we've faced, I won't say for as long as but for as long as I've been on the board, I can say that's been the case.
We'll take note of that.
Now, do you have, I'm sorry,
No,
were you
go ahead.
finished?
Yeah.
Do you have a amount that was saved over, carried over from the last? Do you?
We do have that figure. I don't have it with me right now. But there is quite a bit of carryover right now. So I believe there's even a little bit of carryover from 2 years past. So what Julie had been doing was trying to use up some of those pots of money first before we got to the most current years. I can give you an update via email on where those accounts are at, but there is some carryover.
Okay.
And there is some that we need to spend by the end of this cycle in order to remain in compliance.
Okay.
Anybody else? I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay.
So we can move on to item number 5, is a discussion of the aggregate sheets. And then talk about how soon you're gonna need those back.
Yes, so you have those sheets in front of you to do your scores for the submitted public service agencies. You'll want to complete 1 sheet per each application. So in total, we received 4 applications, which is a little bit less than in past years. But that means you'll be completing 4 different scoring sheets and then submitting those back to me. The goal is for agencies to present and answer questions at our next meeting, which would be March 10th. And then at that time to vote on funding and determine agency awards. So ideally, I'd like to have those score sheets back with enough time for me to compile your responses and present that to you, and then a little time for you to review that before the March 10th meeting.
Only 4 entities are requesting, huh?
Yeah.
That's significantly less. I wonder,
Yeah.
do we even have a thought as to why?
I do not know why.
Well, I know the guidance center was able to get monies from somewhere else, so that disqualified them for this program.
Oh, okay.
And same with the CASA. They was able to get monies from somewhere else, so that disqualified them from this program. So,
Yeah, and I believe I had seen in the past there had been up to 7 that we send it out to.
Yep.
So that would account for 6. I'm not
Right.
sure about the 7th.
Now, St. Vincent's too, our clinic has been taken over by another,
right, there you go.
up from the Atchison, I don't know the name of that firm, but it's under the health board from Atchison, so it's still, as I know, is St. Vincent's Clinic, and I don't know if their financial needs are met by that other new takeover or what.
Yeah, and I did not hear from any of those 3 agencies either, so
So the biggest concern, it sounds to me like, not necessarily all of their needs, but, to the extent that they were requesting help from us, they're able to, wherever they are able to find it, we wish them, success, but
Yeah.
gives us the opportunity to help that much more to those those entities that are requesting help now, based on a projected amount of funds that they're asking us to disperse amongst them, so. When do you think we want to have these score sheets back?
Okay, so I have the calendar pulled up here.
I'm gonna pull mine up too. I need a reminder always.
If our next meeting is March 10th, I'd like to have probably at least these 2 days to compile and get that out to you. Do you guys think having them to me by the 3rd of March would be doable?
That's
Oh,
fair.
yeah.
And then that would give us a week before the meeting?
I'll probably do mine, I'm gonna be out of town from the 24th to the 4th of March, so I'll get them to you before that.
Okay, perfect.
And just bring them to the office on second floor.
That's fine, yep. Yeah, and then I will need to tomorrow go and distribute for the board members who are not here.
That's funny, I've actually done this before, because I pulled up CDBG score sheets as a
Yeah,
prompt.
perfect.
See?
Well, I will say that's one thing that's made it a little easier is all of this stuff is annual, so I'm able to look back at last year's minutes, agendas, even the meeting video and see
Yeah.
what we're supposed to be doing.
So, us telling you you're supposed to provide pizza is not gonna fly.
No, not if it's not on last year's video.
Now, somebody brought us Mardi Gras, who's on our board that brought a king cake back from New
Oh my
Orleans?
goodness.
That was special.
Okay, so 3 March,
And I'm not sure if you guys did it this way last time, but as you're evaluating these, if you come up with questions that you have for specific agencies, feel free to include those, and I'll send those out ahead of time to the particular agency. That way, when they present, they can be prepared to provide an answer for that.
that's a great point. We'll definitely, if there's any question, excuse me, I know folks, board members have had questions before, so that's a great avenue to be able to reach back and ask those specific questions of those programs, so. Do we have any other matters and/or correspondence?
I do not have any other matters, unless you guys have anything.
I don't have any.
I don't have any.
All right. So it looks, as you said, the next meeting is on the 10th of March at 4:15 PM.
That's correct.
If no other matters or correspondence and no other items to speak on,
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, one more. Hey, I apologize. Hey, I'm kind of slow when it comes to giving input, giving information. I always relied on the military for 20 years. So he was supposed to go first, left to right. But I've been a citizen of Leavenworth I came here in 77, came here in 69 from Kansas City, Missouri. Graduated Leavenworth High in 77. Went in the military for 20 years, and I've been back since 97. Now currently drive a school bus for Leavenworth, Eastern Bus. So that's it. Now I'm sorry, now we go ahead.
I don't want to talk about myself. I'm kidding. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, motion to adjourn, I make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
I have a motion to adjourn, I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye passes. We adjourn the meeting at 4-0.